In the last month, KMBC 9 Investigates has received nearly 1,000 tips about the Kansas Department of Labor. People say they are desperate for money and they are not getting the unemployment benefits they qualify for, but they're also struggling to navigate the department's four-decade-old computer system. Investigative reporter Matt Fleener explains.
Atari video games debuted in the 1970s. So did the same computer system the Kansas Department of Labor is still using today.
We need help now.
But Allison Needleman is done playing games. She's tried to call the Labor Department for months.
I'm just trying to be able to talk to somebody.
Until KMBC 9 Investigates emailed the Kansas Department of Labor, this Johnson County hairstylist couldn't get her unemployment claim paid. More on that in a minute.
Representatives are engaged with a claimant at this time, and the whole queue is full.
With an average of 200,000 calls a day, the Labor Department has just 450 call takers. Call takers are still trying to pay claims with computers from the 1970s.
Governor, I have a quick question on unemployment.
Last month, KMBC 9 Investigates pressed Governor Laura Kelly about the pace of payments.
Do you want to see the Department of Labor move faster to get that stimulus funding out?
The Department of Labor is moving as fast as our technology will allow us to move.
The department provided this picture showing a call taker navigating 6 different computer screens.
We've committed $37.5 million in this year's budget to update old IT systems.
Governor Kelly, in her State of the State address, asked legislators to pay for long-term fixes. Upgrades the department maintains Republican Governor Sam Brownback's administration failed to implement.
I'll tell you one thing we learned in the military: the day you take charge, you're in charge. It doesn't matter what happens, what happened before.
Republican State Representative Chris Croft says even though he's working on long-term solutions on a state labor committee, he says too many people are still trying to ask the Labor Department questions, showing the department needs a better communication plan.
There's just a lack of feedback. It feels like it's going into, if you will, a black hole, and then it just goes nowhere.
Well, I just can't get through.
Needleman says after KMBC 9 Investigates got involved, the Labor Department called her to pay. As for thousands of others, they still need a victory. Matt Fleener, KMBC 9 News.
In Kansas, people are still having trouble getting the state to pay out unemployment benefits. KMBC 9 News investigative reporter Matt Fleener spoke with a woman on a hunger strike in Topeka.
I've had to take it one day at a time.
It's day 4 of Renee Perigo's hunger strike.
Take care of yourself.
I'm trying.
About the situation, it's awful.
It is, thank you.
Word is getting out about why she's sitting in front of the Kansas Department of Labor.
I'm putting it at their doorstep because I'm sick of them not acknowledging it.
It is the unemployment benefits her family has not received.
Thousands of dollars.
She wants to represent other Kansans.
I was getting hundreds of messages.
Still not getting their money a year into a pandemic.
Just an awful feeling to watch thousands of people suffer.
It's no secret the state labor department has struggled to pay claims. Perigo struggled to get through on jammed phone lines, so she wanted to try another way. Earlier this week, Governor Laura Kelly was asked about this hunger strike.
I can't talk about them. The secretary can't talk about individual claimants and their issues.
Governor Kelly later said payments continue to go out.
She used the word claimant, and she disregarded me as a human being.
But Perigo says she still hasn't seen her money. She's here until she does.
But I am willing to sit here until the right people listen.
Matt Fleener, KMBC 9 News.
The Labor Department's offices in Topeka are closed to the public. The only way to get through is by calling an overwhelmed hotline.
Tonight, a KMBC 9 investigation into problems with the Kansas Department of Labor. Nearly a year into the pandemic, some people are still not getting the unemployment benefits they desperately need. Investigative reporter Matt Fleener explains.
To speak with a call center representative, you will need to call back later.
Rachel Lundgren's mornings usually start with an automated apology.
We apologize for the inconvenience.
I wake up in the morning and call. I set my alarm to get up before they even open.
Your feedback is important to us.
Lundgren has plenty to say to the Kansas Department of Labor. She says a scammer used her name to file an unemployment claim last year.
I went ahead and did everything I needed to do to report that fraudulent. And then unfortunately, I became unemployed December 31st of 2020. and I needed to file for unemployment myself.
Jobless, she can't get benefits.
Labor unemployment benefits line.
She's struggling to get through the Department of Labor to say she's legit.
You know, I'm going to try to start looking for a job, but I'm constantly dealing with this all day long.
Nearly 1,000 people like Lundgren sent KMBC 9 Investigates tips this past month.
It's been really, really hard to get a hold of them.
They did.
Each sharing how the Kansas Department of Labor has failed them. The main problem is fraud, and Department of Labor leaders won't say how much the state has lost to scammers.
Since there is significant fraud, we do have to ask additional questions. We do have to do additional scrutiny.
Just a few weeks after they testified to a Kansas House committee last month, Labor Department leaders have stopped doing television interviews, saying they're getting death threats due to increased public attention on the department's actions. As for fraud, KMBC 9 Investigates emailed the department 4 times, asking how much the state has lost to scammers. Department leaders still won't say, saying they're working with the Legislative Audit Group, also saying they want a valid number before they make it public.
We're looking at close to $277 million potential in fraud.
Outside experts are already testifying to the legislature, though, saying it could be hundreds of millions of dollars.
You know, maybe I've overestimated this. But the real concern for me is what if I've gravely underestimated the position.
As Kansas tries to stop any more money from leaving the state, Lundgren and thousands of others just want to get paid.
All call center representatives are engaged with a claimant at this time.
Hopefully things will get better.
Matt Fleener, KMBC 9 News.
You can see a complete response from the Kansas Department of Labor at KMBC.com. Tomorrow night at 6, investigative reporter Matt Fleener gets more answers about how the system's failures over the past decade have led to the problems today.